Hi friends, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And what I have for you today is a haul. These are my May pickups. There may be a few stragglers from April, and there may be a few overflow into June, but basically it's the May pickups. And I'm just going to get right into it with this first one. Actually, the first two are, they come to me by way of Paramount. So I want to thank Paramount for sending these over. And the first one is Bob Marley, One Love. This is the Steelbook version. There is also a Blu-ray slipcover, and I believe a 4K slipcover, and maybe a DVD, but I did get the Steelbook, which I was very happy about. I love the look of it, and this is 4K, I believe. But anyway, this is a really cool movie, and I know a lot of people have said that they wanted a little bit more from it. I've been a fan of Bob Marley since about 1979, 1980. I had a teacher that was way into Bob Marley. He took almost half a year and taught us about Bob Marley, his music, his impact on society, and just really what he was all about. So I've been a huge fan for a very long time. One Love is the concert that Bob Marley put on when Jamaica was just coming undone. There was civil unrest, there was violence, there was rioting, there was all kinds of bad things going on. And it was his way of trying to bring peace to the country through music, through bringing people together. And he actually, at the time of the concert, he was living, right before the concert, he was living in exile in London because there had been assassination plots on his life. That's how serious things were at this time. And I know when this was announced, a lot of people thought it was going to be a traditional biopic, like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man, things like that. And really what this is it's just a snapshot of this part of his career, this very pivotal part of his career, and what it did for the country and what it did for him and his music and his career going forward. And that's really what this is about. So if you're looking for a biopic, a traditional biopic, to learn about Bob Marley and his music from kind of beginning to end, that's not what this is. So do a little research on the One Love concert if you decide that you want to watch this. And I think you'll have a better understanding of what it's all about, because it kind of like plops you down right in the middle where this is starting, and you go from there. And you do get flashbacks to his childhood, but not a lot is explained. You get flashbacks to when he met his wife and different things here and there sprinkled in, but it's not a full biopic is what I'm saying. But I enjoyed this very much. I love the music. I love Bob Marley. So I was just really happy to see this. And would I like to see someone do like a full feature-length just biopic on his whole life and music and career? Absolutely. But I was really happy with this. And one of the things that they do focus on in this one is this album, Exodus, which I absolutely love. Exodus. And this is the album that he was working on at the same time when he was working on getting this concert together to help heal Jamaica. So I just thought that was cool, because Exodus is a great selling album, and you see them meeting with music execs and how they were fighting over the cover because he's not on the cover, his picture's not on the cover, and it's just a very cool little bit of trivia and little music history. And if you like Bob Marley, between this album and Legend, you're covered. It's just great. So Exodus is one of my favorites, and I had to bring a little show and tell moment there. But yeah, I thought One Love was really good. One of my suggestions would be definitely watch it with the subtitles on, because the Jamaican accent is very heavy, and you are going to miss details if you try to watch it without subtitles. So definitely use the subtitles. But the next one sent over from Paramount, this one comes out this coming Tuesday. That would be the 18th of June, and it is Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway's in 1974 Chinatown, a great film noir. And I just watched this not too long ago, a few months ago. I watched it not knowing that the 4K was coming out. Enjoyed it. It's great. I'm excited to watch Chinatown on 4K and get back to you. I love the Paramount Presents line. I'm so happy that they're continuing with it. This is spine number 45. You get the new cover art, and then you always get the gatefold slipcover with the original cover art. You get the nice clear case. You have the artwork, and you get the nice clear case. You get a digital copy, and you do get a Blu-ray and a 4K disc. So they're really nice releases. And I know another one that's coming out is Election with Reese Witherspoon and Matthew Broderick. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. So definitely put Chinatown on your list to pick up for next Tuesday, wherever you buy your physical media, wherever you can find physical media. This is one that I picked up. I grabbed this one on Orbit because I love British humor. I love it. And I love Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley. And this one, they say it's the British Comedy of the Year. It is called Wicked Little Letters. Now, this is a Region B locked, so you have to be region free to watch this, or hopefully we'll get a Region A at some point, or a release here in the States, because this is fantastic. It's based on real events, and what it is Olivia Colman lives with her elderly parents, and she lives next door to Jessie Buckley's character, and all of a sudden these obscene letters start showing up at her house. I mean, we're talking like heavy obscenity, and that was just not done at this time, and it's actually considered a crime in Britain at this time, in the UK at this time, and they're trying to find out who the writer of these letters are that's upsetting Olivia Colman and her family so terribly. And their prime suspect is Jessie Buckley, because she is a single mom living next door. She parties, she hangs out with the guys, she's in the pubs, she's in the bars, she's cursing up a blue streak, she's having the time of her life. So she becomes the obvious suspect, and that's all I'm gonna say. But this is a blast. It's fun, it's funny, it's just awesome. So if you can get your hand on Wicked Little Letters, I highly recommend it. And of course, I grabbed Dune Part 2, which I enjoyed very much. I thought it felt a little long. The first half felt a little long, but the second half of the movie made up for it, and I feel like we're in a good place for a setup for the next chapter. But yeah, I enjoyed the first Dune. I enjoyed that one very much, and I think this was a good follow-up. Like I said, felt a little long, a little slow in the first half, but then it picked up and it got there. Visuals are beautiful. The 4K is stunning, so if you haven't seen it, definitely pick it up. And the Steelbook's hard to come by, so good luck trying to find that. Maybe they'll restock it. I don't know, but this was fantastic. And this one just came in. I don't know if it's released yet. I got it from Orbit, so sometimes they send things out just a little early. This is from Kino Lorber. It is the 4K and Blu-ray Harvey Keitel in Bad Lieutenant. I have not seen this in years, so I cannot wait to give it a look. But this one is available. I believe it's still in stock on Orbit, and also Diabolic, but and I'm sure it's on Kino Lorber. So definitely, if you're into this movie, it's available. Pick it up. And this one I'm really excited to check out. I had never heard of this movie before. Orbit put it out. Mark, who does the live streams for the store, for the Orbit store, he does live streams every Thursday. He was pushing this one, so I picked it up. It's called Mute Witness. It's put out by Arrow. This is it's a 4K, but it's also, I guess is it Region A on the Blu-ray? I think it's Region A on the Blu-ray. I don't know, but it's a 4K. It's called Mute Witness. And what we have this gal who's a special effects artist, and she's working late in the studio one night, and she happens to walk by, and she sees people making a snuff film. If you know what a snuff film is, you know. And she actually sees the victims at the point when their lives are taken, and she is the only witness. So you can imagine where it goes from there, but I'm really looking forward to this one. I hear nothing but great things, and I can't wait to watch this one and get back to you. Now this one I have waited so long for a great release for this one. There's been a lot of Region B ones because it's a UK film, but this is fantastic. It's called The Long Good Friday, and it says it right on the back. Universally regarded as one of the greatest gangster films ever made. It says, Harold Shand is a businessman with great ambitions, spotting the development potential of London's derelict docklands area years before the Thatcher government. He tries to broker a deal with his American counterpart that will make them both millions. But who is killing Harold's other associates and blowing up his business, and why? I can tell you, this is a fantastic movie. I've seen it many times. It's so good, and I can't wait to check out the 4K. And this one is also, I believe, is there a Blu-ray on this one? I'm not sure if there's a special feature with no special feature disc, but there is a booklet and there is a poster. So this is just a 4K, and I believe there's a Blu-ray available. You have to check though. Check on Orbit because they had a couple of these floating around, and I believe one was a Blu-ray and one was a 4K. The 4K might be out of stock right now, but definitely find a way to get your hands on the Long Good Friday because it was out of print for a while and it's back, and like I said, this is fantastic. It's so, so good. And then again from Kino Lorber, we have a great Western. Haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm looking forward to revisiting it. It's Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly in High Noon. And this is, again, the 4K and Blu-ray. So I'm looking forward to this one. And from Shout Studios, I picked up the 4K and Blu-ray of The Addams Family 1 and 2. I love The Addams Family. I mean, come on, who doesn't love The Addams Family? So I'm looking forward to checking out the picture quality on this one. I already know I love the movie, so I'm looking forward to checking out the picture quality and getting back to you. All right, let's move these over here. And of course, I am such a huge fan of this movie. I already have it, but I'm going to sell that one, and I went with this one. I know it's Blu-ray to Blu-ray, but it's the collector's edition of Orphan. I just love, love, love this movie, and it has a bunch of special features in it. And yes, it's still a Blu-ray, it's not a 4K, but I love it, and it came with the slipcover. And I don't know if it has reversible artwork because I haven't taken the plastic off yet, but I will be watching this very soon, and I am of course going to go through all the special features. But I just love Orphan. I think it's a great one. I didn't even mind the second one. I forget what they called the second one, but I love this one. I saw it in theaters, and I've loved it since the first time I saw it. And this is another one. I could not find a steelbook anywhere that was not dented, so I went with the German media book because I figured that was safe. This is called Deadstream, and this is a horror comedy. It is so much fun. I'm sure if you have a Walmart near you that sells physical media, you'll be able to find the steelbook because it's readily available in Walmart. My Walmarts just don't sell it. But what we have is we have a guy, and I guess he's like a YouTuber, live streamer, and he decides that he is going to stay in a haunted house overnight, and he's going to record the whole thing, and then whatever happens, happens. It is just so fun, so funny, so creepy and scary and all mixed up together. But the comedy in this, the comedic timing in this is so on point. I just loved it. I thought it was great, and I streamed it first, and then I had to have a physical copy. So since I couldn't find any non-dented steelbooks, I decided to go with the German media book, and that's just fine for me. So that is Deadstream. And let's see. All right, let's do some steelbooks. Of course, we have Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is the new 4K. I'm sure you've seen a million unboxings of this. The 4K is stunning on this. It's such an upgrade, even though I love my Arrow edition, the Blu-ray edition, and I'm sure Arrow will come out with a 4K at some point down the road. I've heard rumblings already, but you never know. But this is such a beautiful steelbook, and here's the front, back, and spine in case you haven't seen it. So good. And the 4K looks fantastic. And I mean, come on, it's Killer Clowns. How are you going to go wrong with that? They're fantastic. And I also picked up the Magnificent 7 because Orbit had this, and I really enjoy the remake of this. I don't know if I've ever seen the original, so I definitely wanted to see it. The price was right, so I picked it up, and I'm looking forward to this one. And this one's also a 4K and Blu-ray. And of course, I had to get American Hustle. I love this movie. I think it's so good. The 4K looks great. And what I will tell you is this watch, it's probably like the fourth time I've watched it. This time I watched it with the subtitles on because that's my new thing. I watch everything with subtitles on. It was a completely different experience because I did not miss one detail, and I absolutely fell in love with this movie. I've always liked it, but I fell in love with this movie. Watch it with the subtitles on, and you will find out so many little details that are very easy to miss without the subtitles. Just watch it. It's so, so good. And of course, I picked up Tim Burton's Batman in 4K. I love this one. It's with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, Michael Keaton as Batman, and Kim Basinger, however she says her name. But I know a lot of people didn't like this steelbook, but I love the colors. As soon as I saw it on Groove, I actually got this in one piece from Groove. But I really, really love this, and I think the steelbook looks great. The 4K looks great. and I put it in, and I remember why I love this movie so much. I saw it in theaters when it came out. I've loved it ever since, and it just went right back to the top of the pile. I love it, and I love Michael Keaton as Batman. And then I was able to get my hands on the latest Mad Max Fury Road Steelbook with this one's the one with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. I have a few Steelbooks for Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road. I don't know why I got this, but Steelbooks, it's kind of like an addiction thing. I have to break out of it, but I was able to get this, and it was reasonably priced, so I picked it up, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Furiosa, so I hear good things about that. And of course, I had to get Rango. I love this movie. I love what they did with the cover, and then you have Rango and his friends there, and you get the front, back, and spine. And I'll tell you, the 4K on this looked really, really good. And if you're not familiar with this, it really does poke fun at spaghetti westerns. And there's even a segment in here where Timothy Olyphant is kind of playing Clint Eastwood in the Man with No Name trilogy, and he does such a great job, and the animation is so on point, and it's really poking fun at spaghetti westerns, and it's just a blast. Johnny Depp is fantastic as the voice of Rango, and it's just a fun time, and it's definitely for the adults. I think kids could enjoy it too. I don't know what rating it is. I can't see the rating on here, but I don't know if it's rated R or not, but I didn't see anything over the top. So I think most kids would be fine with this, but this is just so much fun. And the animation looked great in 4K, so I was not at all disappointed with this pickup. So good stuff here, and let's just get this all back together. And I also grabbed the Arrow version of Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak. And again, I'm sure you've seen a million unboxings of this one. It's the book style. You have the pull tab. You get a hardbound book in here. And you also get some art cards. And then you get your 4K disc. This looks really, really good in 4K, but I will say, if you have the Blu-ray version, which is exactly the same physically, it comes with all the same things, I don't know that you necessarily need the upgrade. I think that you will be just fine with the Blu-ray. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to decide if this is one that you want to pick up. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary. I think the Blu-ray of this looks really, really good, so you're not getting anything new with the packaging, and I don't think that the picture quality is enough of an uptick to warrant spending the extra money to get this. So, you do what you want to do, but that's just my unprofessional opinion. So, Crimson Peak, I think it's a great movie. It's a great story. It's a great ghost story. There is a turn at the end which may be off-putting for some viewers. I'm kind of thick-skinned, so I was okay with it, but I know that the ending, the third act of this is a little off-putting for some people, but as far as a ghost story, it's a home run. So just read up on it, learn about it, see if it's for you. So that is Crimson Peak. And then, of course, I grabbed, someone asked me in a recent video if I have a lot of concert films, and I don't, and I have 2 in this pile. So, but I don't really have a lot of concert Blu-rays or 4Ks, but I did want to have this one. It's Queen, Rock Montreal, and Live Aid, because I really, really love that Queen Live Aid performance. There's nothing like it, and I just wanted to have it on 4K. It's a very thin case, too. I'm not crazy about the package because I may have to put it in something more secure to be safe on the shelves. And then, of course, we got, from A24, we got Jonathan Demme's Stop Making Sense. It is the concert film of all concert films, The Talking Heads, and I can't wait to jump into this. It is the bigger, as you can see, it's much bigger than a regular Blu-ray, but that's how a lot of the A24 special editions come. Now, this one was announced and just came out, and Love Lies Bleeding is going to be shipping out this Friday, the 14th, June 14th. That is the smaller size. It's the regular kind of Blu-ray size. So if you go over to the A20, it's exclusive to the A24 shop. You have a Blu-ray option or a 4K option. You don't get both with one. So decide what you want, and if you want to pick up Love Lies Bleeding, you can get it through the A24 shop. There's a Canadian edition and a Region B edition available over for pre-order on Orbit. So those are a few places you can get Love Lies Bleeding while we're on the topic of A24. But you can still get Stop Making Sense if you're a fan of the Talking Heads and you want to see an awesome concert film. So check that one out. And from Kino Lorber, we got season 6 and season 7 of Monk. So they're continuing to put these out. And I believe season 8 comes out in July. I have it pre-ordered, so then that'll be it. I'll have the whole series of Monk, and I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching these at some point. As I say, some point. Okay, I just have a few more movies, and then I have a really cool gift from a friend that I want to share with you. And this next film is based on a true story. It stars Anthony Hopkins. This is an amazing, amazing story that everyone should see. And it's called One Life, and it says, on the eve of World War II, one man did the impossible. And Anthony Hopkins plays a gentleman. It's a true story of a gentleman called, his name is Nicholas Winston. He organized the rescue of hundreds of predominantly Jewish children from the Nazis on the verge of World War II. And half of a century later, he is still haunted by the children he was not able to save. This is it's such an amazing movie. Anthony Hopkins is fantastic as always. If you have the chance to see One Life, please, please, please give it a look, because you will not be disappointed. Even if you just stream it and watch it once, just see it, because what he did is amazing. Now, I will say this is not as hard-hitting as, say, like a Schindler's List. It's not as traumatizing as a Schindler's List. But I think this is a remarkable story, and it just shows what one person who really cares and puts himself on a mission, what he can get done. What he did was nothing short of a miracle. So definitely put One Life on your list. It's a fantastic movie. Now, this one I have not seen. This is a horror film. It's a Shudder original, and it fell under the category of folk horror. You know, I'm working on a folk horror segment for the channel, so this one fit right in. It's called Impetigore, and it said it's downright terrifying. So I'm going to check this one out. And basically what it is we have a gal, and she finds out that she, I guess, has inherited some property in a village where her family was, and I guess where she grew up. But what she doesn't realize is that there is some sort of spell or haunting on the property. So that's all I know about it, and I'm looking forward to watching this and giving you my thoughts on it, because I love folk horror, and I love anything with like spells and witches and curses and things like that, and this seems like it has it all. So I'm really looking forward to it. If you want to be able to see that's the title, if you want to read it and spell it out. I got this on Orbit, so it is still available on Orbit if you want to check it out. But if you like folk horror, I would say put this on your list and check it out. Now, this is one that I was waiting patiently to see it. I did not see it in theaters, but I thought it was really good. It's Immaculate. I just got this in about a week ago, and we have a young gal who goes to a convent. She leaves the United States. She goes over to Italy. I guess she's been in contact with the people who run the convent. She goes over to Italy, and she is going to serve her time there. And it's a convent that is for nurses, nuns who are on hospice, and they care for the people on hospice. And once she gets there, she starts to find out that there's some weird things going on. I'm not going to get into what happens to her because it'll ruin the whole story. Just watch it. If you like this type of horror, you're going to really enjoy Immaculate. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Most people that I heard liked it, so I think you'll like it. And if you're not sure, give it a stream. It's on, I believe this is on Shudder right now, so you can actually check it out there, and I think it's on Prime. So you can check it out before you buy it if you're not sure, but I really enjoyed this one. Immaculate, it's a good one. And this one I did stream, and I got it. This, I would venture to say, will probably be a one and done for most people, but I'm a huge dog person, so I had to have this. It's based on a true story. It stars Mark Wahlberg, and it is Arthur the King. And Mark Wahlberg plays he's an athlete, and he does these, I forget what they call them, but they're like he's out of the country and he's doing like these competitions where they row boats, they run, they swim, they trek through the mountains and through the jungles. And like I said, he's out of the country, and while he's working with his team and they're trying to win this competition, this race, this dog keeps showing up and he's following them. They're all stray dogs, all the stray dogs over there running around and trying to get food from them. And this guy just keeps showing up and he follows them. And what Mark Wahlberg does is he makes him a part of the team. And this dog follows them and competes with them through the rest of the race and the competition. And I'm not going to get into it what happens, but it's a great story. It gets you in all the feels. Like I said, for some people this is going to be a one and done, but because I'm such a huge animal person, and dogs in particular, this is one that I definitely wanted to add to my collection. But you can stream it if you're not sure if it's one you want to add to your collection. But it is a family-friendly film, so this would be good for the whole family. But Arthur the King I thought was a good one, so definitely check it out one way or another. And of course, I don't know if I don't think I showed this in the last one. I don't think it was out yet. I'm not sure, but I did pick up The Crow. I have the Steelbook somewhere. I think it's already on the shelves, but I did pick up The Crow. I thought it looked fantastic. It's a classic. It's iconic, and I just loved seeing it again. And the 4K, I think, looks fantastic. So if you haven't picked up The Crow yet, definitely add it to your list. Pick it up. Not sure if the Steelbooks are still around. They were in Walmart. Orbit had some in. I'm not sure if they're getting any more in, but you can check and see. They usually restock pretty regularly, so either way, either get the slipcover or the Steelbook, but definitely add The Crow to your list. And of course, I had to get, this is like a comfort film for me, all of them, all four of them, Kung Fu Panda. I love Kung Fu Panda. People laugh at me, you guys can laugh at me, make fun of me. I love Kung Fu Panda. I think Jack Black is fantastic as the Kung Fu Panda. Po, I guess his name is, right? Yeah, Po. And I just love this. I love everything about it. Dustin Hoffman's little character is fantastic. I love, love, love the illustrations, the way they do the illustrations on this one. I think that it just looks fantastic. It's a beautiful looking film, and it takes place in Japan. So you have all like the cherry blossoms and the buildings, and it's just so good. It's great. It's Kung Fu Panda. Just watch it. It's good. Watch all of them. Get all four of them. And then we have, of course, the 4K of American Sniper starring Bradley Cooper. I adore this film. And weird thing, I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I kind of forgot the ending. I don't even know how you do that, but I forgot the ending of this till like the last 10 minutes of the film, and I'm like, oh, well, XYZ is going to happen. This is one of those films that you have to watch the post-credits because it will absolutely blow you away. The post-credits just... I was just choking back the tears in the post credits. I just thought, what an amazing person, what an amazing American, what an amazing man, and just what an amazing story. So definitely, if you haven't seen American Sniper, see it. The 4K looks fantastic, but the Blu-ray looks good too. So if you don't want to splurge for the 4K or you're not 4K ready, definitely just pick up the Blu-ray, see it somehow, because American Sniper is a fantastic movie and it's a very, very important story. So check that one out. And then this last one is another Arrow title. I should have had it with the other Arrows, but of course I didn't, because that's how I do. That's how I roll. It stars Jason Patric and Ray Liotta, and it is Narc. I love the graphics that they use for the front of this. I think it's great. It looks great. And basically what we have is Ray Liotta is a narcotics detective, and his partner is killed in the line of duty, and they call Jason Patric, who's doing a desk job at the time. They ask him to team up with Ray Liotta to solve the mystery, the case of Ray Liotta's dead partner. What happened? How did it happen? Why did it happen? But this is a great, great movie, and I don't know that this had a Blu-ray release. I know it has a Blu-ray release on the Imprint Neo Noir box set, one of their box sets, but I don't know if it had an American Blu-ray release. I think it was just DVD. I know it had a DVD release, but I think this is the first time that it is on, it's actually on 4K, but this is a region A, so it must have a, Blu-ray disc in here. Yep, it has a Blu-ray disc of extras, so you get the 4K disc, and then you get a full Blu-ray disc of extras, and you get posters, and you get books, and you get the whole deal. So this is a really, really nice release, and it is a fantastic movie. if you like, you know, this kind of thing, cop movies, narcotic detective movies, fun stuff, Ray Liotta, anything Ray Liotta, I'm in. So this is my last pickup for the month, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, and the last thing that I have is a gift from my good friend John over at the PlatX2 channel. Now, if you know John, if you're here, you have to know John. If you don't know John, go subscribe to him. He's awesome. If you know John, you know he's not a real hardcore horror fan, but he knows I am. So every time he's out and he comes across something, Steelbook, movie, and in this case, a NECA figure, horror related, he'll send me a picture and say, do you need it? And he's just so kind and so generous like that. And he grabbed this for me and he sent it to me. And John, thank you so much. This was such an amazing gift, and I can't wait to set it up on my new area in my room where I'm setting up all my NECA figures. And it is the Michael Myers from Halloween Kills. And he sent me this brand new, still factory sealed. And say what you want about this franchise, not the franchise, the trilogy, the 3 films. People don't like the last 2 as much as the 2018 one, but I love the mask. I think it's the best mask in the franchise for the Michael Myers mask. But here he is. Here's the NECA with his extra masks. Hopefully you can see all his goodies. But that is, there he is. And this is what John sent to me. And John, just thank you so much just for this, for your friendship, for just being awesome and being in my life. And you know I appreciate you, and everyone else should appreciate John too, because he's the best. But yeah, I can't wait to set this up. I'm going to have a whole NECA section in my room, which you will see in the room tour, which is coming, I promise. And this is the last thing on my list for this month's pickups. And what way to end than on a gift, on a great gift from a great friend. So that's it. Those are my pickups for the month of May, and I want to thank each and every one of you who clicked on this video and spent some time watching it. Hopefully you found a few things to add to your wish list or to investigate to see if you want to pick them up for your own collection, watch them on streaming, however you do your thing. Whatever works for you is fine. If you like things like this, hauls, collection updates, top 10 lists, movie recommendations, room tours that are coming, anything that has to do with physical media, consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification so you know when I upload again, because that's what we do here, physical media, anything that has to do with physical media. And again, I want to thank you all for watching. You know I appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, I'm behind in the comments. I'm working on it. Life is doing what life does, so I am getting through them, but thank you all the same for being here. And that's going to do it for me today. I have some cool things planned for the next week or so, so I'm going to catch you in the next one. But for now, that's a wrap.